Michigan State, Coach D'Antonio and their players credit. They're the number 5 team in the country for a reason. Played very, very well tonight. Got to give them credit. Starts with that. For us, we didn't play good enough, obviously, to win. Defensively, not having Sickles and Nassib, I think affected us. That's a big, physical, strong offensive line in front, they were able to run the ball consistently against us today. Offensively, we were able to move the ball, but we made critical errors. You can't turn the ball over, make critical errors on the road against a top team like that. The turnovers hurt us. Turnovers early, turnovers late. Although we were able to move the ball, those things are going to make it very, very difficult for you to be successful. So, good football team. Give those guys credit. It's hard to take a whole lot of positives out of that. So, open up the questions.
James, even without Sickles and Nassib, were you surprised that you weren't able to get to Cook at all?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously he was comfortable in the pocket. We knew their offensive line and their defensive line was the strength of their team. We've been able to get pressure pretty much on everybody all year long. But when you take your 2 starting defensive ends, off of your unit, that's going to have an effect. Now we move Zettel out to defensive end. Hadn't played that all year long. You'd love for someone obviously to step up in that role, but you lose 2 out of your 4 starters. It had an effect. It had a big effect on us tonight, obviously.
James, I think everyone understands what you're up against and what you came into when you got this job. But you're up against a division now with 3 really, really good programs with great coaches, and it might look to the fans like, man, are we ever going to beat any of these 3 teams? So that's actually, especially after the magnitude of the defeats, how do you answer that to those people?
Yeah, I answer that we're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep a great attitude. We're gonna keep developing our players. We're gonna keep recruiting. We're gonna keep killing it academically. We're gonna keep killing it in the community. Next year, starting with the bowl game, we're gonna have an opportunity to get some things cleaned up, get healthy, get our full roster back with some time off, and then build on it in the future. So next year will be our first opportunity to be back at full scholarships. We obviously have a lot of work to do, all of us, but good things are coming. I feel very, very confident in that. We showed it at flashes, but whenever you play the upper tier teams in this league and in the country, we haven't been able to get it done at that level yet. So we improved on our conference record from last year, but the upper tier teams in this conference, we got to close the gap on them. There's no doubt about it.
James, when will the process of evaluation, personnel and staff begin? Will you begin that through December, or do you wait until the bowl season is over?
Yeah, we're evaluating every single day, but yeah, the evaluation will happen in between now and the bowl, and then after the bowl, when the season's over.
And also, Christian had said before the season he really would like not to be asked about his future. What will be that process this month? Will you talk to him before the bowl game? Because the window gets pretty tight, right?
Yeah, the season's not over, but yeah, we will have some conversations with a number of guys and come up with a plan that makes sense for them, that makes sense for Penn State, and look forward to doing that here in the next couple of weeks.
James, you mentioned not a whole lot of positives, but Zaquan did go over 1,000 yards for the season. Just how do you look at his year to date? Obviously, young guy, didn't play every game, but just what are your thoughts on his season so far?
Yeah, he's a talented guy. I think he's an example of a guy who came in here with the right attitude, tremendous ability, worked really, really hard, and when his opportunity came, he took advantage of it. He's got a lot of skills. In terms of size, speed, ability to make people miss, ability to break tackles. It's something real positive to build on for our future. You're talking about the offensive line's improvement. You talk about the tight end positions development, And then you talk about, the running backs. And, I think Saquon obviously is a bright spot as well as others. Chris Godwin, I thought, did some good things as well today. But we have a lot of work to do, obviously.
James, Michigan State had your defense on the field for 10 minutes, about 10 minutes in the third quarter. Bunch of pounding by the running backs during that time. Do you think that having the defense on the field with so many personnel missing contributed to such an explosion of offense from them in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, they're a pro-style offense with a big physical offensive line that's going to line up and try to pound you, and then play action and take shots down the field. That's who they are. And with the size and experience that they have on the offensive line, and with us missing 2 out of our 4 starters in the game, they were able to take advantage of that. And they were, pretty much able to run, consistently. And then when they did take shots, like was mentioned before, we weren't able to get pressure on them. We weren't able to get pressure on them. So we did not dictate the game to them. They were able to dictate the game to us, especially, with their offense. And then the turnovers with our offense, put the whole team in a difficult position.
James, you mentioned the offensive line. It made a lot of mistakes penalty-wise. How difficult is that, especially at this time of year when these guys have been playing a lot of football?
Yeah, jumping off sides. There's a couple times that they did a good job with their environment in the stadium, with their fans. We jumped off sides, and now you're in a 1st and 15 situation or 2nd and 15 situation against a good football team. Makes it difficult to stay on schedule, create manageable 3rd down situations. Although I did think we picked up some 3rd downs, probably a little bit better than what we've done at other points during the season, especially with the 4th down conversions going forward. I think we were 4 out of 5 on 4th down. So, but yeah, can't make those mistakes. Made too many mistakes. The turnovers, the penalties, no doubt about it.
Back to 2 more. This week, not being able to get off the field yourself on 3rd down on defense there. Is there sort of a common thread you saw in between this game and last week that you were struggling? I think Michigan State was 8 out of 10 on 3rd down.
Yeah, they were 8 out of 11. And again, I think, the biggest issue for us is we've been at our best when we're able to get pressure on the quarterback, whether that's from blitzing or whether that's from a 4-down rush and playing coverage behind it. Not having Nassib and Sickles in there had an impact on us. Had an impact on us on 3rd down. It had an impact on us on 1st and 2nd down. Good players.
James, Saquon got to 100, got the freshman record. Did you leave him in at the end for that purpose, or was there another reason for him?
No, we left all the starters in there. Wanted Trace to be able to get some work with the starting unit in there. That was the reason. It had nothing to do with any records or anything like that. It had to do with getting Trace some reps with the first offense.
James, you have talked about being loyal to all these men who have come with you from Vanderbilt and the relationships you have with them. Is there going to be some soul searching for all of you over these next few weeks as you figure out and evaluate the whole staff?
Yeah, I think we already covered that. I think that was already asked about the staff and evaluations. Those things will come when the season's over.